Republicans Scott Brown, Olympia Snowe, and Susan Collins joined the Democratic majority earlier today to cut off debate on that measure. The House of Representatives did approve that bill, by the way, on June 30th. Joining us now is Martin Baily, a senior fellow at the Brookings Institution. Dr. Baily served as chairman of the Council of Economic Advisors for President Clinton. Dr. Baily, welcome to Bloomberg News. Always good to have you on.
Thank you.
Sir, talk to me about this legislation. Is this the right bill to prevent another financial crisis?
I think it's an important step forward. I support it. I think it's taking a number of positive steps. It's certainly not perfect, and it's leaving a lot to be done by the regulators, a lot about the implementation of this, including work at the international level. So we're not all the way there yet, but I think this is an important statement and an important mark of progress.
Dr. Baily, talk to me about some of the holes that you see in this bill. Where are your concerns?
Well, it would be good to have more clarity around the so-called resolution process. One of the things that was so difficult in the crisis was dealing with large institutions, and if you let them fail, then there was a concern that the whole system would come down. If you prop them up, then you're sort of supporting bad behavior. So what we need is a good resolution process so that we can let big institutions go down gently so that they don't disrupt the system. We need a lot more to be done there.
Dr. Baily, you have some problems with the Volcker rule, correct?
Yeah, that sort of came out of left field. I don't think it really came out of the process with the Treasury and the White House as they were putting their proposals together. And then Volcker proposed this, the president supported it, and it's sort of halfway gone into the bill. I don't think it'll be that big a problem because it's sort of been made less potent. This is sort of around proprietary trading. There never was much indication that proprietary trading was a big part of the problem in this crisis. They haven't really defined what they mean by that. And I think as it's implemented, it probably won't be a big deal. So it may just be a token. But it could, I suppose, turn into something that's a problem for the larger banks and financial institutions if they really tried to enforce it.
Right. Dr. Baily, one of the criticisms that's been heard on Capitol Hill and, in fact, throughout the country is that these new regulatory reform measures do absolutely nothing to deal with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. I was wondering if I could get your thoughts on that.
Well, it's true. They do nothing to deal with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, and certainly those institutions and federal housing policy generally were a contributor to this crisis. They sort of egged on or encouraged the overborrowing and too much building of housing and so on that got us into trouble. I don't blame the administration or Congress for not having dealt with Fannie and Freddie this time around. It's on the agenda to be dealt with next. I think there's going to be a report from Treasury coming out in January, and I think that'll be the next big step in this process, and it's a vital one. So yes, we haven't done that yet.
Dr. Baily, in about 20 seconds, what's this going to mean for the Democratic Party? Are voters going to pay them back at the polls in November?
Well, right now, things don't look terribly good for the Democrats in November because the economy still looks weak. I think actually, I don't like everything about what this administration has done, but I think they did the two big things right, which was that the stimulus package in the top, which of course dates from the previous administration. So I wish they would get more credit for that, and I think they should get credit for this financial reform bill, but I don't think they're going to because the economy is still so weak.
All right, Dr. Martin Baily, senior fellow at the Brookings Institution, talking about financial regulatory reform. Dr. Baily, thank you for your time and your expertise. We appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Well,